Hello and thank you for joining me in this mind mastery video. Today I'm going to compare and contrast two different mindsets. One is about finding the solutions, moving forward and growing and developing as an individual, and the other one is based on focusing on problems, focusing on analyzing the situation, focusing on basically keeping ourselves in the situation that we are in. And of course, I'm going to try to provide some solutions and tips on how to move ourselves from the problem-focused mindset into a solution-focused mindset. So obviously, just as the name suggests, problem-focused mindset is about being focused on problems, right? So basically looking at our experience, our current situation through the lenses of what is wrong with this situation. So what is wrong with me? What happened to me that is so wrong? And what's causing me the stress? So when we are in this mindset, we are usually very past oriented. So we look towards the past and towards what has happened to us that has caused us to be in the situation that we are now. And being in this mindset could be comparable to a mindset where we are not moving forward, because you can't move forward if you keep looking towards your past. You can't move forward if you can't see any path forward, or if you can't see a way out, because that's the state that this mindset will create. It will cause you to believe or cause you to experience your life and your situation as something that doesn't have a way out. Okay, this is how I am set in this particular ways, this is what has happened to me, there's myriad of problems around me, I'm unhappy, I'm in distress, and okay, there's nothing else I can do about it, because that's how the life is. Which is fine to some extent. This sort of analysis could be quite helpful in terms of trying to understand what's happening to us and where we came from, right? But if you don't balance it out with a solution-seeking mindset, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be in this quite unpleasant place where you see nothing else but things that are going wrong for you. So that's why we need to be able to move to this solution-focused mindset where our attention goes towards the future. So basically, what's the way out? What can we do in order to get out of the situation that we are unhappy about, or situation that we want to simply change? And this could be comparable to something called a growth mindset, where we know that, or rather that we believe that we are not fixed in our own ways. So for example, we might believe that we can grow, we can develop, we can gain and learn new skills, we can move forward in life if we put an effort into that. In the same way, when we use this solution-focused mindset, we look forward. So we see the problem, we see that something is wrong, we acknowledge it because perhaps we are unhappy with it, with this problem or with this situation, but we don't dwell on it. We don't overanalyze it because it doesn't provide us with any way forward. It doesn't provide us with any solution. So being in this mindset, being focused on solutions, is essentially looking towards the future. So you acknowledge the problem, you acknowledge the problematic situation, but rather than dwelling on it, you look towards a possibility. So how would you like the situation to look like instead? How would you like to be instead? How would you like to feel instead? If all your problems went away, how would you like your life to look like? This is the essence of the solution-focused mindset, where we don't dwell on the problem, but we look towards the future and the ideal outcome that we want to have. So this is quite an important element of coaching, actually, because coaching, which is often quite contrary, quite different to therapy, coaching doesn't focus so much on what's the problem or what is the obstacle. Of course, it acknowledges the problems and obstacles, because otherwise it might be difficult to understand our situation, but essentially it is solution focused. So what's the solution? What's the ideal outcome? Where are we going? And we can see that essentially this mindset will enable us to move forward towards wherever we want, towards any specific goal that we set for ourselves. So now the question comes in, what if we have a tendency to get stuck in this problem-focused mindset? And I know it's quite easy to get stuck in that place, because we might feel, for example, overwhelmed by so many emotions caused by the problem, and feeling overwhelmed can in turn cause us to believe that there is no way out. There is nothing we can do about the situation. So all we can do is basically complain and consider all the possibilities of how our problem influences us on a regular basis. So feeling stuck, feeling overwhelmed are not very productive or are not very conductive towards finding a solution, because it narrows our attention down towards seeing just the negatives in our life. So one of the ways that could enable us to get out of this state is to simply acknowledge how we feel, acknowledge what sort of problems we might be having in our life, what sort of problems we might be having with ourselves perhaps. But then, after understanding our situation and acknowledging how we feel and how we think, we need to be able to put it all aside and take a more meta perspective. So from this meta perspective, you can see the problem, but also you're able to look towards the solution. So where do you want to go from here? Do you want to remain in this situation with all these problems and feelings and, being overwhelmed? Or do you want to feel differently? And once you take this meta perspective, you can see your situation more clearly. So instead of feeling overwhelmed and feeling like your problems is defining you, you take a step back, you say, okay, I have this problem, doesn't define me, it's not all that I am. It causes some struggles, it causes some obstacles in my life, but I am able to, put it all aside and look towards the solution. So how would I want the situation to look like instead? How would I like to feel? And once you are able to, direct your attention and direct your mind towards seeking a solution, believe me, it's going to find a solution, because that's how our brains are wired. Our brains are wired to basically, solve problems, seek for solutions, and stuff like that. Because why do you think we like gaming so much, or crosswords, or playing chess? Because we like to solve problems. That's how our brain is wired. That's how we survive as human beings. So once you are pushing your brain towards this direction of finding a solution and asking yourself the right questions, eventually you'll be able to find a solution that will move you forward. And I'm not saying that it will be a perfect solution. I'm not saying that it will be a solution that will completely remove all your problems, if that's even possible. But it will be a solution that will start moving you forward, which is extremely important if you want to get out of this mindset of being stuck with all this negativity and problems. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in private coaching, please send me a direct message. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them just below the video. See you next time.